Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantel Francis, here again to talk to you about Love Island Season 7 UK edition. This is episode 5. Now, chances are you know the drill. You can just help out the channel by doing a little subscribe right around over here. It really helps us out. Like this video, share it with your friends, comment, all that stuff is really, really favorable for the channel. So if you can't contribute financially, contribute with a like would be amazing. So episode 5 here, we see Faye and Liam walking in hand, and behind them is Sharon and Chugs. So they weren't really that happy about this. Hugo sees them holding hands and is actually quite shocked that they're holding hands already. And bless him, Hugo is very sweet, but he seems quite naive. Like, I do remember Faye saying, like, let's hold hands as we walked in. So it was calculated to a certain degree, but Hugo doesn't really, there hasn't been like a big spark between the two of them and between him and Faye. It's kind of like, there's not that much going on between them for him to be so surprised. So it could just be because he's had to do a confessional and say something about them walking in hand. But I just was kind of like, Hugo, you guys are like, you've said 10 words to each other. You're not really together yet for you to care that much. So Aaron is not worried. I don't think he should be worried at all. The two guys that came in, granted, okay, I do think that those two guys that are these bombshells or whatever are more in line with the type of guys that are usually cast for the first round. So I'm thinking that maybe the producers and the casting people wanted it to be more dynamic by having the potential of people breaking up. So they didn't put their most amazing guys in there the first time around. And then so when somebody comes in, someone's head's going to get turned and someone's going to get dumped. And maybe they think that that's going to be more dynamic. So that's kind of what I'm thinking is their angle is, because I just find that the first round of guys is just kind of like, I don't really see any of them other than Aaron maybe getting into a relationship. Jake, as we've talked about, and we'll probably talk about a little bit more, I don't really think that he's that into Liberty, but I think he's just going to play the game and his head will get turned in a second. And so I'm wondering if it was all calculated by the producers because they want people to break up. They want people to cheat on each other at Casa Amor. They want that drama. I just wish that they understood that the drama comes when it's not completely calculated. Like if there's real relationships that start forming and then someone actually comes and turns their head and they kind of go against everything that they've been saying to their original couple. And so hopefully it works out for the show because obviously I'm enjoying it, but I do find that I think that they're trying to create drama of people breaking up, but I don't think anybody cares about anybody. Like, I think, yes, Liberty would be upset if Jake's head got turned, but we're not really surprised by that. You know what I mean? Because we can tell that he doesn't really like her. So the girls and the lads, they all split up just to talk to the new guys. And then the girls talk to Sharon and Faye about their little dates. What's interesting is that Hugo and Chugs actually knew each other. So we didn't see this conversation. I guess they wanted it to be like a surprise. But it seems like all the guys knew that Hugo knows Chugs from university. But one thing we do learn is that Hugo likes blue drinks. Ugh, too sweet. Headache, hangover, gross. So Liam has his first confessional, and he went on a date with Faye. Faye seems quite smitten with him. I think it's with his height. I think it's he is good looking, and I think he's like a construction guy. I think they call him a bricklayer, I guess. And she finds him very, very attractive. even though he's 5 years younger than her. So I think that she's just like more interested in him than anybody else in the villa. I just don't see them working long term. Like 5 years age difference at that age is just too much. Like it was like 50 and 46, no problem. That didn't add up. 45. I don't know why I said that. 45 and 50, no problem. But 21 and 26, a bit of a problem. They haven't had enough life experience to be on to meet on the same level, in my opinion, humble opinion. So Liam doesn't want to put his eggs in one basket, and then right immediately cut to a clip of Faye talking about how fit Liam is and how, oh my God, his body's so tall. Oh my God, he's so fit. And I'm just like, oh boy, Faye really is putting all of her eggs in Liam's basket, and he does not want to reciprocate that action. So Kaz thinks that Hugo and Erin are really gonna have to fight for their women. I think that she's great at confessionals. She's very charming. She's very bubbly, happy. She's, I think that the producers love getting her taken. She's always just very animated. And so I don't think that they have that big of a problem keeping their girls. Maybe Hugo, but Erin, I think that he's got Sharon on lockdown, I think. On lock for sure. So Chugs says to the guys, as per usual, that his usual type is a petite blonde. And then Liam's type is a tanned brunette. Now, when I say hear tanned brunette, I do not hear black woman, but hopefully I'm wrong about that. Hi, Sam. So it's the way Chugs changes his type when he's talking to Kaz. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, we're gonna get there in like 1 second. It was, I can't even. So the one funny thing about Liam, though, is that he likes feet as well. So I guess like that's one commonality that Jake and Liam have, is that they're feet men. I still been trying to figure out why it's a fetish. I don't get it. Like I get other fetishes, they make sense to me, but the foot fetish doesn't make sense to me. Is it because it's kind of taboo and people think it's gross, so people are like into it? I never understood. I'm actually gonna look it up because I don't understand. I don't get it. Okay, so Hugo is having a chat with Faye, and this is the thing, is that it's very matter of fact and very kind and considerate, but there's no real lust. There's no real anything. It's just kind of like two people having a conversation, being like, yeah, I wouldn't mind getting to know you a little bit better. Yeah, that would be good. But there's no draw to each other. And Faye, I think knew right then that she was more interested in Liam than she has been with Hugo this whole time. But she's kind of playing a little bit the diplomat here, being like, I want to sleep on it. She wishes that she had more than half a day to make this decision, like maybe a full day, just so she can get to know Liam a little bit more. Which I totally agree as well. Like, I don't know why they're not allowing these connections to actually form so that when somebody comes in, it matters. Like, it makes a difference. They're just doing something really weird. Maybe they have new producers on the show that don't really understand how to create actual drama. Like, it's not by breaking up couples that don't care about each other. And so, yes, like all that Faye's really saying to Hugo is that he seems like a really nice lad. But really, I think that she's like, I'm really into him. So Hugo should really read between the lines. Sam said, I hope that Kaz is not into Toby. Actually into Toby. Sam, me too. I don't think she is. I think that she is putting all of her eggs in one basket, which is fine, because he's the only person right now that has any sort of potential interest in her. I think that she would be willing to explore something with somebody else, but unless it's a real love connection, I don't think that she will let Toby go. I think she'd feel guilty. She always says that he's really nice. He's such a nice guy, so sweet. So I don't think that she, unless she really felt something strongly about somebody else, would ever have her head turned. Toby, on the other hand, I think as soon as an Arabella type woman walks into the villa, shows him a little bit of attention, he will jump ship in a heartbeat. And so I can totally see Kaz being single for, a couple days or whatever in the future. So I don't think she actually likes him. Like, if she was in the real world, I don't think that she would be putting this much effort in. But in the context of the show, I think it's kind of all she has right now. Hope that changes. Okay, so they're all getting ready for bed. And does Liam have a Frank Sinatra and Muhammad Ali tattoo on his thigh? I couldn't see who the other person was, but I thought it was interesting to have these portraits on his thigh. Choice, definitely a choice. So everybody goes to sleep, and Chugs and Liam are sharing a bed. So everybody else is in their couples as we know them. So it would be Jake and Liberty, Toby and Kaz, Brad and Faye, I guess, are still together. Sharon and Hugo. And then who's Aaron with right now? Oh, and Chloe, Aaron and Chloe. So next morning we see Liberty is really into Jake. And I think it's just that she's young. To her, he's very attractive. He's laughing at her jokes. He's showing her some attention. But she's going to get egg on her face, I think. I just don't see him sticking with her. He's very wishy-washy. He says to her one thing, and then to everybody else, he kind of is like, no, I'm not really that into her. So I just don't think that he's that into her. Poor girl. So what I thought was really interesting, in the morning, Aaron and Brad both wanted to make cups of teas for their partners. Well, I think Aaron wanted to do it for Chloe, not for actually Faye. And Brad, Aaron wanted to do it for Sharon, and I think Brad wanted to do it for Chloe. And Chugs is like, you guys are making tea for the girl, coffee, what? I'm just thinking about myself, like what eggs I'm going to make. I'll make myself some breakfast. And so I thought that was interesting that he hasn't gotten into the mindset of Love Island yet. He's kind of on his own island and kind of enjoying himself as if he's on a vacation and he's not on this particular show. So I think that was probably indicative of how the whole episode turns out, is that maybe he hasn't put enough effort into building some relationships with the women. So Chugs pulls Kaz in for a chat. And this is where Sam was talking about how, we know that Chugs is into petite blonde women. And then with Kaz, he's saying that she's he was very complimentary, saying that she has such a nice smile, and like that he's into personality, and like just saying things that were quite vague that could be about Kaz, but that's not what he's actually interested in. Even though she looked fire in that yellow bikini, she makes me, I want to look as good as she does in a yellow bikini, but yellow doesn't look that great on me. I might have to go orange, but she looks good in that bikini. Absolutely. I mean, Kaz she's very smiley, very happy, very personable. Absolutely. But I think she could tell that he wasn't really that into her. And she does mention that she's coupled up with Toby right now and she likes him a little bit. Yeah, I really wish Jake would be real with Liberty. He'll be real with Liberty when somebody turns his head. When another blonde woman walks in and he's like, ooh, that's a little bit more, he was saying that he wants somebody that he's more sexually attracted to. So I can see that happening easily. Not that she's not gorgeous, Liberty, but she does lack a sex appeal that I think comes with maturity, personally. So Chugs also has a chat with Liberty, and he says directly to Liberty, you're my usual type. But he asks her, if you had to pick today who you want to couple up with, who would you pick? And she says Jake, and that was no question about that. She's not going to jump ship with Jake, even if there was somebody that she was interested in. I think that she's holding on to Jake for dear life here. Liam has a chat with Faye. Okay, Sam, did you notice this? I know that I think it was Balenciaga had a pair of Croc heels that were supposed to be in fashion, but Faye, with her white bikini, was wearing white Crocs. Are Crocs cool and in and look cute now? And it's like this ugly chic? Because I think that our Crocs are hideous. And like my dad always wears Crocs because he's like, they're so comfortable. They're just so comfortable. And I'm like, they're so ugly. Have they become ugly chic? I'm worried because like Faye usually looks pretty good, but those Crocs, just because they match don't mean that they're cute, in my opinion, my humble opinion. Watch me next week, like buying a pair of Crocs and wearing them to the beach. So Aaron is talking to Hugo and trying to give him a little bit of advice. I don't think that Aaron feel like worried, probably because if Aaron is Sharon's type, Chugs and Liam, or Chugs anyways, is probably not Sharon's type. Yeah, a lot of people are wearing them nowadays. I don't find them good to wear with most outfits. Yeah, I mean, they're just so ugly. I don't mind necessarily the holes, but the shape of them are hideous. And like, I remember like when waitressing, some people would wear Crocs because they're comfortable. And like, they still were hideous as waitress shoes, you know? Man. Okay, so Crocs are now in. It's a Croc. Ooh. Yeah, so I don't think, Aaron is worried about Sharon. But he's trying to give Hugo some advice but Hugo's saying that there's a fine line between showing interest and pestering. And this is how you know that they don't have a connection, because whenever you have a connection with somebody, anything that you do is kind of right. Like how you cuddle up next to them is right. Calling them in for a chat, they've been waiting for you to talk to them. Like it works. There's no pestering when you guys are vibing. And so that to me just should show him that they're not connected, because if he's so worried about like, oh, should I talk to her? Well, if you're interested in her, talk to her. Like, and if there's a real connection between the two of you, she's going to be excited that you are wanting to see her. So it just shows to me that they are not a match, but we all knew that. So Chloe and Liam have a conversation as well. He likes confident, independent women, and she just calls him out. She's like, that's so vague. And it is vague. Like, yes, you might want confident and independent women. Yes, but like, what does that actually look like? Like, I want a woman that owns their own business. I want a woman that like is really financially secure. I think that more makes you understand like the qualities of a woman. Just saying confident. Like, how is she confident? Is like she wears like risque outfits? Like, does she wear fake lashes? Like, what does confidence mean to you? And independent, like, what does that mean? Single? Like, it could mean a lot of things. So it doesn't really mean that much. I wish that he kind of gave examples if he's going to use those words to describe his ideal woman. But she does ask, which I think it could have been a little bit catty, how was your chat with Faye? Because I think she's trying to gauge whether or not Faye and him are going to be an item, or if he's somebody that she could potentially be kind of going after. People in the house have obviously been saying that her and Faye are like twins, or they're look-alike. So maybe that's why she's just kind of seeing where her competition, what she's up to. But I was just kind of like, there's a little bit of sneakiness I thought that was going on with her asking about his date with Faye, or his chat. And so one thing, though, I thought that was good, as in kind of like a relationship icebreaker kind of question, was, where would you like to take me on a date? And I kind of like that. It's kind of like showing his imagination and seeing if he's romantic, and if what he thinks would be a fun, good date would be something that you'd be interested in. And so he said like something about like, I don't know, go and hang out on a beach. Okay, cool. That's fine. That's all right. But she didn't seem that intrigued by him. Definitely not as much as Faye has been. So I feel like Sharon is not into Aaron, and her head might be turned. Interesting. They're both playing the game because they're the one of the few people that have a connection. His head might be turned by Rachel. I don't think his head's going to be turned by Rachel. I think Rachel's stunning, but I think that they enjoy kissing each other, Aaron and Sharon. I think that I can see their relationship growing. I don't actually see them. I think that Sharon is, she kind of is not super overt with her feelings and like, her emotional, how she's connecting with the guys. Like, she's not that forthright with that information. So I think that she's just kind of hedging her bets a little bit until it's only been like, what, a day, maybe a day and a half. I don't see Aaron's head being turned by Rachel. I think that Aaron likes exotic women, like not necessarily white, but I'm not sure if he likes Black women. I'm not sure. I mean, he might date everybody, but he might be more attracted to the exoticness. She's mixed race, mixed ethnicity is just a little bit more like, wow, of Sharon. So I that's what I'm thinking right off the bat. Well, I'll have to see Rachel's personality to see if she goes in and she's really interested in Aaron, and maybe she goes and makes a push for him. I just don't see Aaron being the type to put in that energy and that effort into getting somebody else. I think that will be happy with Sharon, and I just don't see Sharon liking one of the guys that they're going to bring in. I just don't see the people that they've been casting so far are going to be somebody that Sharon's interested in. But I mean, I'm here for it to see things get shaken up, but I don't know. I don't know if I see that, but we will find out, I guess, tonight. Wait, not tonight. There's no Love Island tonight, is there? Is there a show tomorrow? I know tonight is Unseen Bits, and then tomorrow is After the Sun. Is there an actual episode tomorrow as well, or is it strictly Monday to Friday new episodes? That is my question. So Chloe is kind of talking about the guys being like, or maybe it's a confessional, but that they're like a nice new shiny little toy. When Chugs talks to Chloe, he tells her that she's his type. So he didn't say that to Kaz. He didn't say well, you're my type, which was very interesting. And so, the blonde thing, he's into the blondes for sure. And then he asked her to put some sunscreen on her back, and this was definitely the moment where all the other guys were like, "Oh, like Brad was looking over, like are they making a connection, like rubbing sunscreen on his back?" I thought it was kind of funny because it's like not that big of a deal, but everybody was taking it very, very seriously. Rachel should pick Brad, in my opinion. Don't like both guys, but let's break up the blondes and petite gang. Yes. Yeah, I think, to be honest though, I think that if Rachel was just looking at the guys, she would probably pick Brad. But if she talks to the guys, I think she will pick Chugs. Now, if Rachel talks to the other women, and they like Chloe and Liberty, and hears that Chugs is only into blonde girls, then I can see Rachel choosing Brad instead. But just Brad is so bad with having conversations that they're both bad. They're both bad for Rachel. I don't know why they're bringing in a Black woman when there's only one Black man in there who's yet to, well, I guess Toby is seemingly mixed race, but he's also not coupled up with the one Black woman, or even she stepped forward for him and he didn't reciprocate. And Toby, are they trying to tempt maybe Toby? I just don't think that the men that they have on the show are going to be interested in Rachel, really, which is shitty. If you wanted their website, oh yeah, that website is actually putting Google virus on my thing. I keep on getting all these pop-ups. I've been using Daily Motion. That comes out every day. comes out at like, what time does it come out on BK World? Because it comes out at about 9-ish Eastern. So I guess about 5 hours after it airs, or 4 hours after it airs. So Chloe gets a text. I've got a text. So tonight it's going to be a recoupling, and it's going to be the girls' choice. So there's going to be 7 men that are there, and women are going to be choosing. My mom is so weird. Sorry, I just saw that she texted me that it's my dad's birthday. Like, I know when my dad's birthday is. Why does she need to remind me? I've never forgotten a birthday in 42 years. Well, I mean, when I was a baby, I probably didn't do it. But, like, anyways, why is she messaging me to be like, it's your dad's birthday? Thanks, Mom. But then she doesn't do it for the birthdays that I do forget, which is like my little sisters, which is like, I'm always like, is it the 14th or is it the 16th? Is it the 16th, the 19th? Like, anyways, sorry, it just caught me off guard there. So hashtag, too many men, not enough time, hashtag girl power. So that is what the text is. And so we know now that Faye is not going to have that much time to make her decision here. Brad doesn't really know what Chloe's going to do. He tells Liam that Faye is going to probably choose him. Well, didn't say probably, he said 100% Faye's going to choose him, which we all could tell. Or she wasn't going to stay with Brad for sure. Faye talks to Hugo and wishes that she had more time than just like half a day, which should be the writing on the wall for Hugo, being like, I'm probably not going to choose you because, yeah, I like this guy more than I like you right now. So Faye is in the tub, and there's no bubbles or anything. She's just like kind of chilling, talking to Chloe about who they're considering picking, and they're kind of like realizing that they're most likely going to be the deciding votes between the final 4 guys, which is what we kind of speculated. We knew that Liberty and Jake were most likely going to be together, that Kaz was going to pick Toby. We knew that Sharon was going to pick Aaron, so it's just going to be Faye and Chloe that we're going to be choosing between Chugs, Liam, Brad, and Hugo. So Faye feels bad, obviously, about Hugo because she likes him. He's sweet, but she's obviously more interested in Liam. So she's asking Chloe if she will choose Hugo. Now, Chloe wants to be selfish. She wants to do this for herself, but she's definitely really doesn't know what she's going to do. She's really kind of between a rock and a hard place. But Faye does say that she'll back whatever Chloe decides, which is nice. But it's kind of like, hey, I'm choosing who I want. Will you please choose Hugo? But if you don't, I get it. But just choose Hugo so I don't feel like such a bitch. So I think that Chloe should be selfish, though, and choose who she's most interested in being in a relationship with. But it could be a safe play, though, to be with Hugo, because then, like, Hugo's most likely, maybe his head could get turned if, like, some more women came into the house and it was the men's choice, and then he just, like, leaves Chloe. But it could mean that by her saving him, then in the end, he might be loyal to her. And so if she hasn't found a connection, they can be like, a friendship till the end type deal. So that's definitely a thought. So Kaz gets a text. I've got a text. Can all the Islanders gather around the fire pit? Hashtag decision time. So it was pretty self-explanatory what was going to happen. Kaz stands up first. Our vibe is immaculate. I'm like, is it really? I don't know about that. But she chooses Toby. They hug, and he kisses her on the cheek. Next is Sharon. She feels really comfortable and has a good sense of humor and chemistry. She chooses Aaron. He goes in for the kiss, but she was only expecting one kiss, so it actually was quite awkward. But I think that they look really good together. I like that couple personally. Liberty says a bit of me, looking like the boy version of herself. Jake. She chooses Jake, and they kind of do like a little hug and kiss thing. Then Faye, so we're getting to the moment of truth here. So she says that it's super easy to talk to this person. the boy they want to couple up with is super easy to talk to. It could potentially bring out a different side of me. And she's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. We know what we're going to do. We know what we're going to do. Liam, she chooses Liam. No surprise here. And then lastly, Chloe. So I thought they were going to cut this off and not show it, but surprisingly, they did show this last one. So Chloe, I'd like to get to know him much better. I want to see this boy find love in the villa, and she chooses Hugo. So I think that her choosing Hugo is to ensure that maybe Hugo will keep her in this case that she doesn't, neither of them find a love connection. They like each other, so they will just kind of keep each other safe until potentially somebody finds somebody else. Yeah, why was Faye so back and forth while choosing? It felt pretty obvious. I think she just didn't want to hurt Hugo. She felt guilty, and then she didn't know whether or not Chloe was going to 100% choose Hugo. So I think that she knew by her choosing Liam that Hugo potentially could be, going home or dumped or single. So I think that that's what she was worried about, is what Chloe was going to do with the choosing between Hugo and Brad and Chugs. That's my thought. So yes, she chooses Hugo. And I was actually pretty surprised by this. I thought that Hugo and Brad were going to be the single people just because they haven't really been connecting. And regardless of whether Chloe likes Chugs or not, I do feel that they had better conversation, and it just seemed more fun, or more, he was just brought a little bit more to the table. I just don't find Hugo's personality that interesting. He's nice, but it's just almost like, okay, give me some more. And Brad, I can't understand him, A. And B, he doesn't seem to want to get to know the women. He just kind of talks about himself. So I was a little bit surprised, but I think that it was the guilt of sending Hugo, such a nice guy, home that caught Chloe, and for the reason that I already stated, that potentially they can keep each other safe until they find somebody that they're both more interested in than each other. So Chugs gets a text and Brad gets a text. They are single, and we see a bombshell walk in, which is Miss Rachel. And I think they said that she has 24 hours to decide between Brad and Chugs who she wants to couple up with, and the other islander is going to be dumped. Now, why didn't Chloe get this same type of, information when it was Shannon? Like, I just feel like, yeah, Shannon just got done so dirty. I know that there's been a lot of Shannon's coming back. I don't think she's coming back. I think that they should bring her back because, like, she quarantined for freaking 2 weeks for absolutely nothing. She didn't even get a chance. Not that I think that Chugs or Liam are going to be her type, but at least, like, the opportunity to hang out there and make these friendships. Like, because a lot of these, even the women are still really close friends after having this experience. So I wish that she still got to be part of the experiment, the social experiment of it all. Yeah, you and Twitter was so happy when hugging was saved. I find him boring. Oh, I wasn't. Wait. No, I don't care that Chugs was saved. Wait, I find him pretty boring, but didn't really care. No, I don't. Oh, Hugo was saved. I don't really care that Hugo was saved. I could have had Brad and him go, no problem. I do think he's sweet and obviously would like him to find love. I don't think that he has a potential with Chloe or any of the women in the house currently. So, like I said, I think it's just to secure Chloe having a friend vote just in case. Yeah, everyone on Twitter. Got it now. That's okay. I just was like, I didn't say that. And I'm like, are you talking about hug Hugo or are you talking about Chugs? So that's pretty much it for the episode. I like banging these out in 30 minutes. This is good. This is good. I'm curious to see if Rachel has any sort of vibes with any of the men. I just don't feel like she will. She doesn't seem like to be half of their type. So hopefully, I don't even care who she chooses really, but hopefully she brings some pizzazz into the villa, because I just don't think that Liam and Chugs are it. I don't think any of the men in there, other than Aaron. He's nice though, but he's a little bit boring as well. So we'll see. I'm enjoying it, but it's also like, whatever. Like, give me some really interesting, really good looking guys, and I want to see some love connections. So hopefully things will get a little bit more real, because if people aren't in kind of relationships or like each other, Casa Amor just doesn't work. Casa Amor only works when people are, at least one of the two are feeling each other. And if they're not, it just doesn't matter. They're just going to all switch up. And I don't know. It just kind of takes away from what I actually like about the show. I do like people finding relationships. And if it's not going to happen, it kind of takes away what I enjoy about the show. So hopefully they'll get that figured out and bring some like actual potential couples into the villa. We'll see. So it's that time again. Subscribe right over here. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Tell me if you're watching Love Island UK. We will be having at 3 p.m. Eastern on Monday. Tamika and I are going to be going live at 3 p.m. Eastern, if I didn't just say that, to talk about the cast of Love Island Season 3 of the US. And then after that, on Thursday, we will be going live at 3 p.m. So I'll go live at 2, do a little quick half an hour of Love Island UK, and then at 3 p.m., Tamika and I will go live with Love Island US. So lots of content coming up. If you are fans of Big Brother, that's coming up too. So we'll be going live after the episode. And then with Tanya on Tuesdays, or most Tuesdays around 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern, we will be talking about The Bachelorette. And then on Saturday, so like tonight, I will be live with Nerdtainment. Sarah, I will be talking about Survivor South Africa episode 5 this week. So join us later on today for that discussion. It's a pretty good season so far. Let me know what you think, all your thoughts. Thanks, Sam, for joining me here and chit-chatting with me. Much appreciated. And I will see you guys soon. Ciao.